The empirical order is a provisional ontology, whereas the ultimate reality is a final ontology. From the provisional empirical perspective, our universe is well founded like the pot is founded in clay. No object depends on itself, and its dependence is transitively descending to the foundation of non-dual existence. The universe's relationship with this ground is dependent and asymmetrical. This relationship collapses, however, at the ultimate order of non-dual reality. For example, Sankara can provisionally speak of the relationship of pot and clay, akin to the empirical standpoint. But from the perspective of cause and effect identity, there is only clay, i.e., the absolute standpoint. The pot form is a mere property, not a substantive. Despite its name and function, Sankara does not ultimately attribute pot form to clay because it possesses no being apart from the clay substantive and is less real. Similarly, the order of ultimate reality is non-dual existence alone, with no second things like properties. One cannot count two things, existence and object, or existence and property, as equally existing across two orders of reality. Nor does causation cross between two orders. In fact, from the ultimate perspective, the world, including the individual, is never truly born because non-duality is not subject to causation. It has no parts, is not bound by time or space, and is changeless. Similarly, the pot space, which appears to be delimited by the walls of the pot, does not delimit space itself. It is never truly born from infinite space. Therefore, the ultimate reality perspective excludes any dependence relations to make sense of metaphysical grounding. The clay pot example falls short of adequately illustrating the two orders of reality. Sankara's more apt illustration is our phenomenal worlds of waking and dreaming, by which he can pump the intuition that there is no objective causation between the two states. For example, the dreamscape, or an object like a dream clay pot, is well founded in the dreamer's cognition born of waking perceptual memory. This ontological dependence is asymmetrical. The dream pot depends on the memory of a waking pot cognition, but not vice versa. However, the dreamer cannot discover that causation solely from within the dream's objective reality, no matter how hard they reductively squeeze the dream pot. The dream pot's ground is in the waking state, and discovering that waking reality simultaneously falsifies the dream world. After awakening, there is no dream to speak of, no level playing field for causation across the two orders. Similarly, discovering the metaphysical ground of the empirical universe transitions to the ultimate reality of non-dual existence, in which there is no world of forms to question and no levels of hierarchy remaining. In this way, even though Sankara assumes realism at the empirical level in terms of veridical cognition, he negates it metaphysically from the absolute level. This leads him to a position of non-realism. From the empirical standpoint, these two orders seem to exist simultaneously and possess an asymmetrical relationship. The world is dependent upon Brahman for its existence, yet Brahman has no dependence on the world even though immanent in it. Only from the absolute standpoint does empirical reality collapse into Brahman. The ultimate reality perspective metaphysically devours the world, all of its causation, and even its status as an appearance. From the non-dual standpoint there is only Brahman. Brahman never undergoes genuine transformation, parinama, into the world. Just as a rope mistaken to be a snake does not actually transform into a snake. Nor is the snake separate from the rope.